Have you ever tried to talk politics with a friend and their response to your statement about an issue is, "Right, but voting doesn't matter anyway"? This ambivalence is understandable. Politics can be heavily exhausting, and to get invested in something where defeat is a very real and common occurrence certainly tires even the strongest-willed individuals. But this is precisely the kind of thinking that the anti-gun lobby and the ATF hope gun owners will embrace. Today, we'll be taking a look at how this mentality hurts gun owners, especially during pivotal moments such as the notice and comment periods for ATF rulemaking, like the one going on right now. Hey guys, I'm Tiffany, the host of One in the Chamber, the show that helps you become a better pro-gun activist. As I mentioned, we're currently in the middle of a notice and comment period. If that's something you're unfamiliar with, don't worry. Earlier this year, Biden announced his intent to move the United States as close to universal background checks without additional legislation being passed.
In the meantime, my executive order directs my Attorney General to take every lawful action possible to move us as close as we can to universal background checks without new legislation.
We've covered the specifics of the rule itself at length on this channel. But if you're interested in learning more, we'll link some videos in the description about the rule and how it can affect you if it's implemented. And "if" is the key word here. The notice and comment period is an opportunity for people to voice their opinions and force the ATF to change the rule or drop it entirely. There are many examples of this happening. Famously, in 2015, the Obama administration directed the ATF to ban green tip ammunition. Because of an outpouring support from GOA members, the administration had to shelve this rule. But in recent years, we've noticed that whenever we post about notice and comment periods, there seems to be a vocal group of the community who is pro-gun but opposes commenting. These folks seem to think that it's a waste of time to leave a comment because the ATF has moved forward with the rulemaking anyway. First off, the idea that commenting is a waste of time is absolutely false. Even if the ATF moves forward and implements a rule, we still have the legal means of defeating them through the Administrative Procedures Act in Congress and through the court system with a lawsuit, using your comments as evidence of ATF overreach. But what's worse here is that the attitude among gun owners who don't think their voice matters gives the ATF exactly what they want. The less gun owners who are politically active, the better it is for the ATF and the anti-gun lobby. They'll run into less resistance, which means it will be easier to erode your rights. In fact, the worst thing you can do as someone who is pro-gun is take a back seat during events like this because it's a waste of time. The ATF and the anti-gun lobby don't want you to be politically active. It's a key part of their strategy. If voters can be persuaded that non-compliance is the only way to combat a tyrannical government and that there's no use fighting for your rights within the system, the government can then legislate your rights away as they please and simply play the waiting game to catch up to those practicing non-compliance. Meanwhile, the culture of the country shifts away from firearms ownership as a result of the lawmaking. If the cultural part of that statement sounds crazy, let me assure you that it's not. The Biden administration has already cut funding for school hunting programs to ensure that the government will play no part in introducing young adults in this country to safe and responsible gun ownership. The attack on your Second Amendment rights is full steam ahead and from all angles. This is why it's not just important for you to get involved politically, but for you to get your fellow gun owners to do the same. According to Gallup, 32% of U.S. adults own firearms. Considering that the current U.S. population is around 331,900,000 people, that would make the number of gun owners in this country 106,208,000 people. For context, around 128 million people voted in the 2016 presidential election, and both candidates receiving about 64 million votes each. If just a small percentage of gun owners nationwide become more involved politically, the ATF, Congress, Joe Biden, and any other anti-gun politician would not be able to pass any legislation for fear of the backlash of such a large swath of the population. Those of you watching this video obviously care about your rights. So your mission is this: get other people involved. While part of gun ownership and activism certainly is helping to introduce others to the Second Amendment, Part of being a firearms activist is getting your fellow gun owners to participate politically. This can mean calling your congressman or making sure to vote pro-gun. But unfortunately, the reality is that your rights are under attack from very well-funded organizations that have a large amount of influence over the United States government. As gun owners, we cannot be complacent in saying, "I'll sit this one out." If you truly believe in the right to bear arms, with no compromise, make it your mission to get other gun owners involved politically. Guns are inherently a political issue nowadays, and because of what's at stake, we need all gun owners to be willing to stand up and make their voices heard. Remember, while Thomas Jefferson did say that the tree of liberty must be refreshed with the blood of patriots and tyrants, he also said that should things go wrong at any time, the people will set them to rights by the peaceable exercise of their elective rights. That's it for today. Thanks for watching another episode of One in the Chamber and being a part of this new series. Be sure to like, subscribe, and comment to beat the YouTube algorithm. I'll see you soon.